Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this exciting announcement. I'm pleased to welcome today Councillors Miller, Olson, Bigger, Thompson, and Deputy Mayor Mary Schreier. So thank you all for being here. It's a great pleasure to have the Honourable Wayne Long, Secretary of State for Canada Revenue Agency and Financial Institutes. Wayne is our Member of Parliament for St. John and Quispamsis. Quispamsis includes the towns of Rothesay and Quispamsis, and together we make the largest municipalities of the region. So welcome, Secretary Wayne. Also, we have today the Honourable Aaron Kennedy. Aaron is a friend, a colleague, and a resident of Quispamsis. He is the Minister of Local Government and Minister responsible for Service New Brunswick. So welcome, gentlemen. It's always nice to have you here, and always nice to know that you are wonderful champions for our community, for our region, our province, and our country. So, Secretary Long, would you like to come and share this exciting news with all of us? And welcome to our community members and members from the neighboring town. It's always nice to have you here as well.
Thank you, and good morning. When the Prime Minister created the Secretary of State role, the biggest issue at times up in Ottawa is like, well, what do we call you? Do we call you Minister or Secretary of State? I just say, call me Wayne. That's what works. But anyway, thank you, Mayor O'Hara. It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to be back. I've literally been away, kind of doing a running count, 64 of the last 71 days now, going across the country, doing pre-budget consultations on behalf of the government, listening, learning, getting feedback from Canadians. I don't think it's any secret that we're in challenging times. Geopolitically, the world has shifted. It's not the same country with the same neighbors that we used to have. So we have a lot of work to do as a government. We're intent on delivering our budget on November 4th. It's going to be a transformational budget. It's going to be a budget that will spend less on operations so we can invest more in communities, invest more in nation-building projects and infrastructure, defense, and rebuild our economy. And despite the challenges we have the best credit rating in the world, AAA rating with S&P and Moody's, best deficit in the G7, or lowest deficit in the G7, lowest debt in the G7, lowest debt to GDP in the G7, and I think the most potential for a country in the G7. I don't think there's any secret that we do have challenges, like I said, but also if we do things right in this country, we invest in ourselves, we invest in nation-building projects. We're a country that has things that the rest of the world wants. We have minerals, we have oil, we have gas. If we do things right, we will be one of the strongest countries in the world. I don't think there's any question about that. So I do want to say I am on traditional unceded territory of the Wolastoqey, the Mi'kmaq, and the Pescataway. And I want to, again, thank you for letting me be here. I also want to acknowledge the other mayors in our community. I mean, obviously, Mayor O'Hara and I are good friends, and she's a wonderful leader for her community. Mayor Nancy Grant, Mayor Donna Reardon, Dewey Doucette. I just saw Dewey Doucette from Hampton, and obviously also Brittany Merrifield from Grand Bay Westfield. Want to acknowledge MLA Kate Wilcott and Minister Aaron Kennedy here too. Thank you for your great work. It's a pleasure to work with Premier Holt, and we're looking forward to doing some great things for the province. So as a government, we're certainly focused on building a stronger Canada. We believe in investments. We believe that what we do is investing in housing, transit, infrastructure, and that's what forms backbones to our community. And obviously, we work with the province to make sure these investments happen, and also we do a lot of direct investment with communities. And that's why we want to continue to work and build on our partnership with provinces, territories, municipalities, to build bold by investing in strong infrastructure, driving up housing supply, and strengthening our economy. So our government is using all available resources to build safe, and strong communities. Today's investment will lay the groundwork for infrastructure projects that support affordable housing and foster connected communities. And I know, obviously this is a CCBF, the Canadian Community Building Fund, used to be known as the gas tax, but it's a significant fund. And I know as a government, we actually doubled that funding a few years back. We've held it at that level because we know how important it is on a federal government standpoint to invest in communities and municipalities. It's vital because we all know that Mayor O'Hara and the other mayors all have a lot of infrastructure work to do. There's a lot of below ground stuff that has to happen for above ground stuff to actually help grow our communities. So that's why today I'm excited to announce that our government is providing more than $50 million to communities across New Brunswick to support local infrastructure projects. These funds help municipalities undertake projects that address local infrastructure priorities now and in the future. Investing in strong infrastructure is essential to fostering connected communities for Canadians to thrive. So for example, the Gondola Point Road Sanitary Lift Station upgrade in Quispamsis is an example. It's a part of an effort to modernize and strengthen our community's wastewater infrastructure. The current lift station being nearly 50 years old and showing signs of wear and tear is posing risks to both reliability and safety. The work being done to update the lift station will help reduce the possibility of floods and potential environmental impacts, while the new pumps will handle larger volumes of wastewater more efficiently, supporting our growing community and ensuring the safety and health of our residents. I'm also pleased to see that projects in the town of Rothesay and the city of St. John, Grand Bay Westfield, Hampton, and obviously cities, towns, municipalities across the province will be receiving support as well. Projects like the Bridge Street reconstruction in Bathurst, in Grand Bucktouche, the construction of a new fire hall involves building a 10,000 square foot fire station with 4 bays in the municipality. So again, across the province, every community has a lot of infrastructure needs, and we realize that. And that's why we want to come forth with this funding to help these communities with these projects. As we build a strong Canada, purposeful collaboration, innovation, and technology will be essential to shaping our communities. Through the Canada Building Community Fund, New Brunswick municipalities have the flexibility to make strategic infrastructure investments across a range of 19 different categories. This funding allows recipients to invest in projects that stimulate local economies and connect our communities. The Canadian Community Building Fund, the CCBF, ties investments to actions taken by provinces, territories, and municipalities to increase housing supply. We need all orders of government to work together to get homes built at a scale and speed not seen since the Second World War. And I know with Gregor Robertson, one of my colleagues in cabinet, we talk about the infrastructure needs, what we need in Quispamsis, Rothesay, and St. John, Grand Bay Westfield to move projects forward. Libby, I haven't forgotten the HAF, don't worry. So every Canadian deserves an affordable and sustainable home, a place where they can put down roots to build a prosperous future. And as a government, we want to, again, invest. We want to invest in communities, and we want to see communities thrive. And we feel we have a role to play on the federal side to help those communities with infrastructure funding. So when Canadians come together, Canada builds infrastructure that lasts. It's time to build Canada stronger by building big and building now. Together, we can lay the foundation to build the strongest economy in the G7. And just in closing, obviously we're back in the House. There's a lot of back and forth between the parties and a lot of debate. But I think one thing that's a common theme, and again, I will touch on this by going coast to coast to coast in the pre-budget consultations, is that Canadians are seized with the moment. We all know the challenges we face. We all know the threats we face. And everybody wants to be part of the solution. So we need to invest. We need to invest aggressively. We can't be afraid to take chances. We can't be afraid to break things. We need to move. We need to move boldly. So if we invest in ourselves, in defense, in infrastructure, And housing, as I've always said, governments should be judged by how they look after the most vulnerable. I know we have a lot of work to do, but I know working together with great colleagues on the provincial side, on the municipal side, and the community side, I know we can build a prosperous country, a prosperous Canada, and we will be, and when the Prime Minister says it to me and to our caucus, we will build the strongest, most resilient country, the strongest, most resilient economy in the G7. I believe him, and I think our future is very, very bright. Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Secretary Long. You know, it's so important that we have this support, and your being here today is indicative of what the future looks like for us. So thank you for that. Now I'd like to invite our favorite MLA, Minister Aaron Kennedy, Minister of Local Government and Minister responsible for Service New Brunswick. Minister, please come to the podium.
Well, thank you very much, Your Worship, and certainly it's a pleasure to be back. This is almost like home for me. I spent the better part of 14 years of my life in various seats around this horseshoe, so it's always a pleasure to be back. Great to see MP Wayne Long, our secretary, who is with us here this morning, and Wayne and I have known each other for an extremely long time, and I think we were jealous from a Quispamsis perspective when he was first elected in St. John and representing St. John and Rossay that we were sort of missing out, so we were really happy to see when the electoral boundaries were revamped this year, that Quispamsis became a part of your riding. So we're certainly very appreciative and grateful to have you representing us in the House of Commons and in the federal cabinet. Great as well to see my friend and colleague Kate Wilcott from St. John West Lancaster. Thank you for joining us in Quispamsis this morning. Deputy Mayor Scryer and members of council, and of course the illustrious Rolly McIntyre, former MLA and former provincial cabinet minister. Thank you for being here with us this morning as well. And it's interesting, the sign in front of me talks about investing in communities, and the flag stand behind me was donated by an extremely community-minded individual by the name of Gordon Friars, who is also a former councillor for the town of Quispamsis, whom we lost this year. And I was just struck by the fact that he donated this to his community. And I think everybody who's here today has a strong connection to this community, and whether you're from the community of Rossay or St. John, cette annonce ce matin, c'est une indication de les trois niveaux de gouvernement. Quand on travaille ensemble, we can do great things by working together. So this is an important announcement. CCBF funding, perhaps it's not as sexy as some other funding, but it's certainly critical. And certainly my friend Gary Logier, who is presque prêt de prendre son retraite, mais for now he's still with us here as the Director of Engineering and works for the town of Quispamsis after an illustrious career. And he used to talk when I was sitting around this horseshoe about how important infrastructure is, and certainly we can very much appreciate that this is important. Wastewater and stormwater and housing and roads, these are all things that we have to be investing in. Wayne mentioned as well about the Federal Minister Gregor Robertson that we were very pleased to host in St. John earlier this year as part of the provincial territorial ministers' meetings with local government, and certainly my friend and colleague Minister David Hickey from Housing here in New Brunswick. We had some great discussions with Gregor, and he certainly understands and appreciates needs in the province of New Brunswick, and as Wayne mentioned, and certainly as Mayor O'Hara has been holding our collective feet to the fire through the Housing Accelerator Fund, which is very important for Quispamsis, and we look forward to hopefully hearing some good news when the budget comes forward later this fall, that that fund will be replenished, and hopefully there will be some of that will be earmarked for Quispamsis. So c'est vraiment un grand plaisir pour moi d'être ici. C'est la première annonce pour moi et Wayne ensemble, alors c'est un grand plaisir pour ça. Les fonds pour le développement des collectivités du Canada sont importants pour les collectivités du Nouveau-Brunswick afin d'aider les gouvernements locaux à construire et à revitaliser leurs infrastructures publiques tout en créant des emplois et une prospérité à long terme. So, Thank you all very much for being here today. This is certainly good news for Quispamsis. Wayne and I will continue to work together on behalf of our collective residents, the folks that we represent here and across the region and certainly across the province and across the country. And I think by continuing to work together, quand nous travaillons ensemble, on peut faire les bonnes choses pour toutes les personnes, les Néo-Brunswickois et les Néo-Brunswickoises. Alors, thank you very much for being here this morning. Your worship.
Thank you, Minister Kennedy. And thank you for this infusion of funding. It will be directed to our infrastructure in advancing water along the Cedar Ridge Boulevard and connecting and looping down to the Hampton Road. This is extremely important because it will allow us to share in solving the problem of Canadian housing shortages. Because by having water on the Hampton Road, we will be able to develop and have our developers build multi-unit apartment buildings and duplexes and that sort of thing that will increase the volume of people that we can have on the Gondola Point Road. The other thing that this helps is that we will be able to also use this funding towards the lift station number 4 down on the Gondola Point Road. It has been impacted by climate change. We have had some flooding down there. This will help to advance us and get this done more quickly in order to have a reliable service along the Gondola Point Road with our wastewater management so that people will not live in fear of having a breakdown with these systems, but we will be able to move forward with this. The big thing that I think is important is that we are able to proceed in a truly timely fashion. We are able to, with the support of the federal government, the provincial government, and working with the municipalities across Canada, we will be able to, here in Quispamsis, build a stronger community, not only here. This funding from the federal government, the support of the provincial government, will allow us to build stronger communities within Canada. It will allow us to be a stronger community in this region, in the town of Quispamsis. So the town of Quispamsis extends a warm thank you to both levels of government, and thank you all for coming out here today. It is certainly important for us to have the support of our community, and it is important for us to continue to work together collaboratively with the provincial and federal levels of government. So thank you very much. It's very greatly appreciated. So if we could have a photo, like. Tim, where would you like this?
This thing on remote control, or is it? It's quite a podium.
It does
Oh,
turn.
it does.
Tim, are we going to move this, or is it?
It won't go very far,
Okay.
so
Where would you like
we can
this?
maybe try it on a bit of an angle here like this.
Yeah, the sun's coming that way, so maybe,
Yeah.
maybe this way.
Kate?
Could we get one with just 3 first, and then we'll get, yeah, maybe more front flags.
Yeah, come this way, if you guys don't mind. Keep coming, right in front of his leg.
Oh,
There we go.
is that okay?
Do you want to move the flags?
You want us to set them back a little bit?
Is that okay? We're good?
If I can get everyone to look here
yeah,
for
but you-
official photo. Mr. Long, right over here.
Yes.
Stage center, if I could, please, and thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm taking a little video, 4 or 5 seconds.
Okay, no problem. Hello?
Awesome, thank you.
Pick stage one here, please. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. I'm trying to get the podium out. Thank you.
You head in the big
I am. Thank you.
What time's your reception tonight?
6.